You know, there's a kind of pain no doctor can treat. It's not in the knee, it's not in the back. It's in getting so close to your dream, and then, just like that, it's over. No rematch, no second chance. Picture a man, only 32 years old, already sitting on the sideline like an old man because his knee won't bend when the cold comes in. He watches a 5-year-old boy tearing across a small field by the sea, and something tightens in his chest because he knows something the boy doesn't yet. A dream can end in a single day. But this father doesn't know something else yet. 20 years from now, his son will pull on that same shirt, walk onto that same pitch his father once walked away from, and finish the story he never got to finish. This isn't just a story about a great footballer. It's a story about how someone else's unfinished pain can turn into someone's unstoppable strength. This is the story of Erling Haaland, Western Norway. The sea wind is so salty you can taste it on your lips. Red and white houses. Cows chewing grass like they've got all the time in the world. And, on a small pitch, a blonde-haired boy who can't sit still for a second. He's wound up like a spring. His father stands nearby. Quiet. Getting up in the morning hurts. He used to be a footballer too, and his dream shattered against his own body. Fast, with no warning. He watches his son, and has no idea yet that he's looking at someone who's going to go further than he ever dared to dream. July 21st, 2000. Leeds, England. His father, a midfielder for Leeds. His mother, Norway's national heptathlon champion, a woman who knew how to push through pain across 7 different disciplines in a row. Just imagine the kind of characters stitched into this child from birth, his father's power and his mother's stubbornness in one body. He was born in England, but the blood running through him was Norwegian, cold and unyielding, like that same sea wind. A few weeks later, his father signed with Manchester City, and the family moved to Manchester. He was 27, the fans adored him, and then, suddenly, it all ended, quietly. No fanfare, no second chance. He went home, to a town of 12,000 people, fewer than the crowd at a single Premier League match. He started building houses with hands that used to score goals. He started raising a son, and every weekend, he drove him to the same pitch where he himself had once been a boy with a dream in his pocket. At 5 years old, Erling joined the same club, ran on the same grass his father once ran on. The coach noticed something strange in this kid right away. He wasn't afraid of anything. Didn't matter who stood in front of him, older or stronger. He didn't care about the crowd, the score, anything. He just wanted to score. Like it wasn't a sport to him. It was air he couldn't breathe without. At 6, a standing long jump that was nearly a world record. He tried handball, golf, ran on the track like his mother once had. But football did something else to him entirely. He'd forget to eat, keep playing in the dark until his mother called him in. His father drove him to training and said nothing. He never had to push. This kid pushed himself, like there was a fire inside him that fatigue couldn't put out. At 17, a journalist asked about his dream. He answered without hesitation, without a shadow of doubt. Win the Premier League with his father's old club. Earn more caps for Norway than his father ever had. Not, I hope so. He believed it like it was a law of physics. At 15, 18 goals in 14 matches for the reserve team. Scouts started showing up in that quiet Norwegian town like flies to honey. At 16, his senior debut. Then, a call from Molde. And here's where something almost too neat happens. The new coach is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the same man who scored the winning goal in the 1999 Champions League final. The same man who once played for Norway shoulder to shoulder with Erling's father. His father shared a pitch with this man. His son would share a locker room with him. Sometimes doors don't open because you knocked the loudest. They open because someone walked through before you and left it ajar. At Molde, the kid packed on 15 kilos of pure strength, heavier, faster, more terrifying for defenders. At 18, a move to Red Bull Salzburg in Austria. Norway had raised him like a mother raises a child. Now it was time to hand him over to the world. May 2019, the U20 World Cup, Norway against Honduras. Haaland scores 9 goals in a single match. 9. Norway wins 12-0. A number that made commentators' voices crack. But when a reporter approached him after the match, expecting a wide grin, Haaland looked annoyed. What bothered him was one single shot that missed late in the game. He said he'd sit down and think about why he missed it. 9 goals, and all he could think about was the 10th one he didn't score. That one sentence says everything about who he is. A few months later, his Champions League debut, a hat-trick in the first 45 minutes. Nobody in the history of the competition had ever done that. January 2020, Borussia Dortmund. In his very first match, he comes off the bench in the second half and scores a hat-trick in 20 minutes, like he was just warming up. But the night everyone truly remembers came against PSG. He's 19. 80,000 voices roaring so loud, the air itself seems to shake. He scores twice. One shot rips into the top corner so fast the goalkeeper never even moves. And then he does something nobody expected. He sits down by the corner flag, crosses his legs, closes his eyes, as if, for 1 second, he's stepping out of that deafening roar into total stillness inside himself. A picture that traveled around the entire world. Record after record follows. Fastest to 10, 15, 20 Champions League goals. Everyone understood. Dortmund wasn't the destination, just a stop along the way. The giants lined up like they were waiting for an autograph. But this story could only ever have one true ending. To understand that ending, you have to go back to April 2001, the Manchester Derby, Old Trafford. His father, Alfie, in sky blue, goes into a hard tackle with Roy Keane, a moment all of England would remember for years. He gets up, finishes the match. But the old injury in his other knee won't let go of his body. A couple more seasons of trying, and that's it. Career over at 30. He goes home, starts building houses again with hands that used to score goals. And back home, a 9-month-old son is sleeping, with no idea his father just had the life he loved taken from him. 21 years later, that same son signs with Manchester City. The same club, the same sky blue, number 9 on his back. His father left that place with an unfinished story in his pocket. His son came back to finish it for him. His first season becomes the greatest debut season in English football history. 36 league goals, 52 in all competitions. The Golden Boot in England and in Europe. Then, in June 2023, in Istanbul, a Champions League final win and the treble. Something only one English club had ever managed before, Manchester United in '99, with Solskjaer himself among the heroes. The circle closes so tightly it's almost hard to believe. Like someone had arranged every piece on the board years in advance. But there was one shirt he still hadn't conquered, the Norway national team. The country hadn't reached a World Cup since 1998. Haaland didn't even exist yet. His father made it there only once, in '94, and went home after the group stage. The son became his nation's all-time top scorer before he'd even turned 30, and still that trophy stayed out of reach. Like it was cursed. 28 years of silence. That's not just a number. That's an entire generation of fans who grew up with no hope left, and he wanted to be the one who finally broke the curse. July 5th, 2026, World Cup knockout stage, Norway against 5-time champions Brazil. Almost nobody believed the small nation could take down the giant. In the 79th minute, Haaland rises above every Brazilian defender and heads the ball straight into the net, 1-0. In the 90th, another strike. The ball slips between a defender's legs into the far corner, 2-0. Brazil pulls one back from the penalty spot at the very end, but time has already run out, slipping away like sand through fingers. Final whistle. Norway beats Brazil. And then something happens you can only see in one place on Earth. Thousands of fans in the stands rocking back and forth in perfect rhythm, like they're rowing a Viking longship. Someone hands Haaland a drum. He strikes it twice, and the whole stadium answers with a single word: row. His father made it to one World Cup and came home with nothing. His son just carried his country further than it had gone in 28 years. After the match, Haaland's eyes were wet. It's not hard to understand why. 7 goals at the tournament, level with Messi, level with Mbappe, a boy from a town of 12,000. From a country of 5 million, standing beside the loudest names the game has ever known. At 17, he said he'd go further than his father, and he believed it when nobody else did. And maybe, hearing all this, you thought of someone in your own life, someone whose road ended too soon. Not necessarily in sport, maybe in work, in a dream, in life itself. And maybe you, without even realizing it, have been carrying their road forward all these years. That's not a weight on your shoulders. It's not a debt you owe. It's love. It just wears that disguise sometimes. A father started this journey. His son carried it home. If this moment reached you, tell me in the comments which part of this story hit you hardest. Also, please subscribe to our channel and let us know in the comments which famous people you would like to see in our videos. Thank you. See you next time. Take care of yourself.